All right, welcome back to another episode of Twisted Metal Companion. I'm Peter. Over there, wrapped in aluminum foil, is Tyler. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Peter?
I'm doing pretty good. We are at the back half of season one as we prepare for season two. In terms of news and updates for season two. One of the biggest ones, if you are attending San Diego Comic-Con coming up very, very soon, Twisted Metal is going to have a presence down there. I believe they're going to be there only the first 3 days, not all four, so Thursday through Saturday, I believe it was. The details you can get from IGN or Sci-Fi Wire. I know that on one of the days they're going to have basically like bumper cars. I forget the actual name, and they're going to have like a version of Calypso out there as well. And I believe it is a free event. You don't need a badge. Um, but yeah, if you guys can go or are going, send us pictures, please, to tell us how that is.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah, I believe there's gonna be, I don't know how they're gonna do it, but I did read on the docket that they're gonna have a sneak peek of season two, and then they're also gonna do not a premiere, but the screening of the first two episodes for season two as well. So yeah, they went there a couple years ago when season one dropped, or right before season one dropped. They had Cisco out there performing. That was really cool. But again, that was amid the writers and actors strike. Um so that's the biggest news. The other thing, we got nine character or nine driver profiles that was released. And it was really cool too because I was actually gonna like tag Peacock like, hey, I could use, some new of these, because they did four drivers. Do you remember this, Tyler? They did four drivers where they're basically gifts, right? It's John with
hmm
Evelyn, there was Quiet, there was Stone, and there was Sweet Tooth. And it was like they were all like just 3 seconds, and it was on loop. And you can get that on the website. And so I'm just like, I can get it, if I can get a few more of these, I can update like my character select screen that I've been kind of sharing on social media. And yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today are these nine um little gifts that came out. The Peacock released them on Instagram. And the first one we have is Sweet Tooth, and on his character profile, we get his name, Marcus Kane, aka Sweet Tooth, Carr, also named Sweet Tooth, and best friend Harold. I'm not gonna keep showing the screen, but he is holding like he has like a hand or an arm with him, and at one point he uses it to point at you too. So, anything stick out with the? I mean, I do find it interesting. Let me point this out because you may not pick up on it. Best friend Harold, he's the only one that does not have a weakness listed.
Okay.
So that's interesting, and they have him first. So yeah, if you want to throw anything on as I continue, just say so. The next one is John Doe, car, roadkill. Strengths, motor mouth, badass driver. And weaknesses, kinda, sorta, super naive. And that's John. There's a couple. I mean, see, at one point, I think he's holding no weapons. I thought he had a weapon. He's just adjusting his gloves, but I think that's strengths. So motor mouth, is that a strength though? He does it well, but is that a strength?
Yeah, I think that's one where you could probably put it in both strength and weakness.
Yeah, okay, that's
Yeah,
fair.
depending on the situation.
Fair enough. Badass driver. I think we can all agree he's a pretty damn good driver. We open up the entire show with him, being chased inside an abandoned mall.
Drift
And
King.
was that Drift King?
He's the
Yes,
Drift King.
he's the Drift King. So yeah, weakness, kinda, sorta, super naive.
Yeah, I mean that
He's
fits.
pretty naive. I don't know if it's kinda, sorta.
Oh,
It's a little. Did I go
yeah, your audio
weird?
cut out. I hear you
Am I
now.
back? Okay,
Yeah, you're
okay.
back now.
But kinda, sorta, super naive. I think he's pretty naive. I don't know if there's a kinda, sorta. I think they're just being cute, you know.
Yeah.
Quiet is next. Car roadkill. So they are both listed of having the car as roadkill. Strengths, hatchet throws paired with timely sarcasm. So I expect it sounds like in season two we're gonna get some more kind of one-liners as she's like maybe killing people with the axe because I don't think that was something that we really got in season one. And albeit we're only as of this recording 6 episodes in, because like she'll use the hatchet, but I don't know if she's dropping one-liners along with it yet.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, in this episode we're going to talk about. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
the hatchet
yeah,
comes
it
pretty prevalent.
definitely this is kind of the origin of that ish. And then weaknesses. No, no, and this is something I expect to see in season two. Weaknesses, tone deaf. So I think we're gonna get her singing some karaoke or something. You know.
Yeah, to prediction.
Um, let's see. The next one's Dollface Car ATV. Strengths, leading the revolution and humiliating men. So that's going to be interesting. Now this is what's also interesting is her weaknesses, Axel's abs. So
Oh,
yeah, so she is like a kind of like your Sarah Connor in a sense, maybe John Connor because he's the leader of the resistance, right? In Terminator, and humiliates men, but her weakness is Axel's abs. So there might be some sort of romantic exchange of sorts. So that will
yeah.
be interesting because in the trailer, or was it a sneak peek? What did we get recently? It was a trailer. It was the final
Yeah, the
trailer.
trailer.
Yeah, because we see like a moment with Axel where he has kind of a an exchange with John, where
Mhm.
I said in that episode where we talked about it, how you could hear his like ass pucker up a little bit when he's cowering. So yeah, can't wait to see Dollface. We see already we said quiet Axel, Carr himself. Strengths, tall as hell with killer abs, and weaknesses, thirst for gasoline. Now, I thought that's interesting. So it sounds like he also needs that in order to run, because like every vehicle is gonna need gasoline. But it did make me think of like that one sequence we saw Dollface and John like running through the field and what appears to be Axel still in his tires in the background.
Oh yeah,
So maybe he's out of gas and that's why he's just like stalled right there.
yeah, yeah. Maybe the his vehicle takes like an insane amount of gas. Like
Hmm.
it's way more. Maybe we'll see him. Having to really like hunt for that stuff because he can only do short bursts or something.
Right. It's kind of like the thing where like the Flash, he's burning up so much calories, like he's always needing to eat, for the extra fuel. So maybe
Hmm.
yeah, something like that. He just requires a certain octane perhaps.
Not a lot of
Um
room for a gas tank. On
no,
that
where
thing.
does it go? You're right. I'm looking at it right now. It's a pretty good uh I'm trying to it's a video so I don't want it to play, but yeah, where
I
does the
mean,
gas tank go?
if it's a literal and he actually has to chug gasoline, yeah, I love that.
I mean, if that's all it takes to look like this guy, to
Worth
Michael
it.
James Shaw, like the abs, I will drink all the gasoline. I've seen it done in the movie The Wraith, 1986, The Wraith, right? There was that one guy who, like, he was, um, I think it was WD 40 or whatever he's sniffing, out of a can. Mr. Grimm, Car Reaper. So that's what threw me off because we're going to talk about that slang later in this episode. Strength, the scythe swinging, soul sucking. Okay, oh no, it's just that's two different things. So he's good with the scythe, right? That's how it's pronounced, scythe. I feel like I've
Mm.
asked before. And soul sucking, so he's good at that. I would hope so if he's the Grim Reaper. Now, interesting enough, weakness is major identity crisis. And in this gif of Mr. Grimm, he starts off with the helmet, and then after it lists all, his kind of stats or whatever that you want to call this, then he's also without the helmet. So I don't know if it's also kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde kind of
Oh
deal too.
yeah.
Like he's yeah, without like with the helmet on, he's the soul sucker, right? Like he's
Hmm.
coming after you kind of deal. And maybe he's a little bit normal, or at least without the helmet on, he's as normal as you could get to a human. he might be still eccentric or whatever.
Yeah.
So the other thing, what I did not write down is they all have like a quote or two as well being played over their characters. Sweet Tooth, he actually has a line repeated from the first season. Um, I forgot what it was, but I think it was like in episode two. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Mayhem is next. Car, whatever she get her hands on, right? So she's a thief of sorts. Strengths, spreading gossip, subterfuge. So she spreads a lot of gossip. So a bit of a habitual liar, maybe something like that. Subterfuge. What is that?
Like sneaky, like
Hmm.
like a spy, would do.
Okay, that's a big word. I
It's for yeah, it's a big word for tricking someone.
Yes, okay, all right. And weaknesses, can't drive like at all is what it says. So a car is whatever she can get her hands on, but she's just not a very good driver. So she'll steal cars. Just watch out, get out of the
Yeah,
way.
maybe they don't
Um,
last long.
Yeah. So and there is like a box that would show a car and it's just a silhouette with a question mark on it because yeah, whatever she can get her hands on. And the last let's see, we got two left. Raven drives Shadow, strengths, rules all of New San Francisco. So that is interesting that that's her strength. So everybody's in her pocket. How would you interpret that?
Yeah, I mean, her strength is her status, or her
Mhm.
like level of power that she's gained.
Right. And weaknesses, making friends.
Mm.
So that
So it's lonely at the top,
yeah, yeah, it is. We see that currently in our right now. And Stu is our last one. Save the best for last. I really like Stu's. I know. Here, let me see if I can show you. So he's like flexing. Look at that.
Oh
Look at
yeah,
that. Arms crossed, a little flex. Look at that. He's got the
so
knife over here. And
shows
I did
a
a
fun
screenshot of
day
this right
at
here.
green screen.
It does look like a fun day. I said I was going to tell my kids that's Rambo. And his car is Sweet Tooth, and he's listed as passenger, so he's the only passenger. That's interesting. Strengths, friendship, and a good listener. I think we got a lot of that in season one, so I think that'll continue with his relationship with Sweet Tooth, maybe others. And weaknesses, performance anxiety. Now, there were a couple lines again, I didn't write them down that each character is saying. And some of the lines, at least there's one line where the first line, I think Stu says something to the effect of like like I've never been able to like decapitate someone and I want to try it. Like something like that. I'm pulling that out of my ass, but it was something to that effect. Like he's seen Sweet Tooth do something. He's like, well, I kind of want to try that. And then the other one was a line that, at least from what we saw in season one, it didn't seem to ring true to the character. And so I wonder if him and Sweet Tooth are kind of trying to put on a play. They're going over a script or something, and there's a line that he says where I'm just like, I don't know. So I completely forgot there was a line. Otherwise, I would have had all those written down. So that was, no, I thought that was interesting enough. All right. So if nothing else, Tyler, we can jump into the today's episode.
Let's do it.
All right. Episode 106, Drive Through. Did you think it was anything else?
No, I I
Dr. V True Through.
put my thinking cap on and I figured that one out pretty quick.
All right, very good. This is directed by Maggie Carey, and my apologies, Allison. I don't know the pronunciation. I don't know is Tafel. That's I should have reached out to someone to try to get that pronunciation down, but we will learn it for the next time we see her write an episode. And according to Peacock, they say John and Quiet seek shelter from a dangerous storm in a familiar place. Quiet reflects on her past. So, Tyler, what'd you think of this episode?
Yeah, I think we kind of I mentioned the during the like kind of season overview. I like the contained, bottle episode that this one is mostly all in the same place, but over It's not technically, I guess, like the same place, but same kind of location over two
Mhm.
different time periods.
Right, one's in
Uh,
Omaha, the other's in Laguna Beach.
yeah,
And yeah, so they give you it's funny because I didn't do a side by side, but just the way because like we kind of focus on like the Astro Burger sign outside and it tells you like, the last burger joint in Laguna Beach or something, and then the other one is Omaha. But I wish that they had given us like maybe a different vantage point for the different two because it almost like at least the very first couple times I watched it, I just assumed it was the exact same one.
yeah. That was I had to kind of like remind myself that they're not in the exact same restaurant. I think I
Mhm.
didn't. There wasn't a ball pit, I guess, in the Laguna Beach one, unless I missed it.
I
Uh,
think you're right. Actually, that one. Now that I think about it, it seems smaller. Uh, yeah, Um, the shit. Yeah, the Laguna Beach one seems smaller, and the Omaha one is the one with the ball pit. And you're right.
Although maybe the astronauts installed the ball pit. Maybe that was post fall.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll come back up. But you know what? I would almost buy that because those balls looked relatively clean.
They
You
did
know.
that. Other than the one band aid we see, it's a
Okay,
pretty
I
clean.
did write Band-Aid question mark. Yeah, because
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if it was like another condom or something. So I had to look at that a couple times. Um, I really enjoyed it. I think I mentioned on the last episode how I enjoy a slow burn. We learn quite a bit actually from Loud and Quiet, and this is a really good episode where we see some good bonding between Quiet and John. And
hmm
they're still going to have their grievances and their bickering, but I think they need to kind of hit some really lows so we can have some really high moments to come, obviously. All right, so we will just jump. Oh, actually, no, before we do that, as always, Radek provided us with a video with the Easter eggs to this episode. So at this point, I will play Radek's video.
Time for some fun.
What's good, everybody? It's Real Radic once again bringing you all the major Easter egg breakdowns for Twisted Metal Season 1. We are currently on Episode 6, Drive-Thru, so without further ado, let's jump right into it. We got 3 Easter eggs to cover this episode, and the first 2 go hand in hand. So during the episode, an event called a Watkins Storm occurs, where lightning is constantly striking in the area. This is due to a nuclear power plant exploding during the apocalypse, poisoning the sky. But the name Watkins is very important here because it's actually a reference to the Twisted Metal level Watkins Harbor, which appeared in the self-titled Twisted Metal on PlayStation 3. Now, part 2 for this specific Easter egg are the lightning strikes. Now, of course, since it's a Watkins storm, of course there's going to be lightning. However, these lightning attacks are actually environmental attacks in the Twisted Metal franchise, where in some maps, lightning would strike enemy vehicles when used. Now, for the final Easter egg I want to briefly cover here for this segment, it's the fan favorite vehicle Shadow. Now, we've seen Shadow earlier in the season in the premiere episode. It is the purple Mortician car that you see driving around, but Shadow first appeared in Twisted Metal 2, driven by a mysterious man named Mortimer. Shadow also appears in other games of the franchise, including Twisted Metal Black, where it's actually Raven's vehicle of choice, and in Twisted Metal 2012 for the PlayStation 3. And those are all 3 major Easter eggs I want to share with you guys for this episode. Once again, shout out to Peter and Tyler for having me on, allowing myself to indulge everyone in my Twisted Metal fandom. Anyways, I'm Real Radic. I'll catch you guys next time. Take care. Peace out.
And thank you, Radek, for submitting that video of the Easter egg for episode 6. Tyler, did you know any of those before, or did you
uh,
catch any of those on your own?
no, yeah, those are all new to me.
Yeah, same. Again, I don't remember the last time I played any of the games, and I feel I didn't go past like 2 or 3. Um, and I don't remember which version, but I do have like the strategy guide book, and I bought that like when season one came out, so that way I can use it to reference Easter eggs and stuff like that. But then we met Radic, who could give it to us all. But I still
Uh,
want to go through it, and because
yeah,
there might be other things too that maybe he's not catching up on. But
and I believe now's a good time. I think they added Twisted Metal 3 and 4 recently to the PlayStation like subscription service. So
okay.
I think for you can pay $10 for a month or something and play through. I think they
Oh
have
wow,
four of the games now, something like that.
that's amazing.
Radic
So
would know
how?
better. Check his Twitter
Yeah,
account.
right. Yes, absolutely. Now, how were you able to play it before? You would have to have the older consoles. So now you're just able to
Uh,
download it. They weren't
Yeah, I
available
think they were
before.
probably available on there to like download or like buy like individually.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not sure where else. Some of them might be on other consoles and things like that. But
Mm,
yeah, probably physical, old copy, or yeah, having to buy it on PlayStation.
right. Okay. I am. I'm sure it would be fine, but I know my almost 13-year-old. He loves what is it called? Dirty driving. I forget.
Never heard
It's
of
an
it.
arcade game. It's very much a ripoff of Twisted Metal.
Okay.
Yeah, all these vehicles and you race. I think Dirty Driving, but because I told him about the show Twisted Metal. I don't think he's old enough yet, even though he's turning 13. I don't know. There's just some things, and I don't want him to be frightened by like the violence and whatever. But I think he would enjoy it, except he might be a bit of a graphic snob. Like it might
Mm.
be not good enough for him. He might be like, Dad, this is like
What's this
Sigma. Is
old
that good or
stuff?
bad? I forget. It's like,
I
is
I
that
think if
good?
your
Sigma's
kid's
good?
using Sigma, it's not good, but it's supposed to
Okay.
mean good.
Right, right. Okay. I'm not even gonna try, dude. I've asked them, and I just gotta follow like some of these other mom influencers that have done videos with
Just
their kids. They'll help out.
yeah, you just tell them skibbity riz and move on.
I have tried saying like skibbity something, do die, and he's just like, Daddy, what are you doing? Stop it. Like his friends are like on the iPads, like, is your dad trying to like do the slang thing again? What dads do? All right. So we open up on the OC farmlands and we see several people in what we learn is Sector 5 and they're harvesting oranges. And there's an announcement over the speakers that their duties will conclude in 10 minutes. And what did you think about this opening sequence?
Uh, yeah, I mean Orange County looks nice. It looks like it's holding up well.
Mm,
It's unfortunately being run probably not in the most ideal way. We see like an armed guard like walking down the rows of oranges as people are picking. And I appreciated one of the people we'll talk about in a second here. Tobin has a pair of headphones around his neck, so you still get to listen to some music while you're forced to pick oranges.
yeah. You
But
know
yeah,
what?
it's a nice introduction.
Since you brought it up, what did you think about Tobin?
Tobin sucks. Seems like
That's what
I
they say.
love
Yeah, yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
love their interactions there, but yeah, we don't get to learn a whole lot about Tobin other than through Quiet and Loud's eyes. Not a fan.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because I love their exchanges. I wrote down some of that dialogue, and I wish more of our like coworkers would watch Twisted Metal because I feel Loud and Quiet are like us, and Tobin are literally like every supervisor or manager. You know, it's just like you just want to tell them like just shut the fuck up. Like nobody,
Yeah.
why are you even talking? Just go back to your clipboard. Yeah, I do love that. We also hear there's a curfew for the workers, and Loud is reading a book that looks like a Goosebump adjacent called Creep Hills. Did you take any notice at all? I don't know if you saw like my post recently.
Yeah, I saw your post. Yeah, it looks like it's one of those like generic TV kind of prop books. Was the other show that you had in that? Is that the middle?
I have
I've
no
never.
idea.
Okay, I
Yeah.
think that's what it is.
So
I've never seen it, but I recognize the kid.
so what I looked up was Guadalupe Leo Quroz, Quiroz. My apologies. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I looked up that that's the name of the author of that book, and she is actually the graphic designer of and founder. Let me see if I can uh properly credit her real quick. I did not. Let me see. It is. Oh, this is really great podcasting here. Um, yeah, so I did okay, the Dapper Owl graphics. And they yeah, she's a graphic designer, prop, stuff like that. And the 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 other show that you're referring to is another volume in the series with a different author.
Mm,
And so I they did not have the Twisted Metal version on their website. So I ended up using the one that was actually in that other show, but to show that Creepy Hills seems to be kind of a fictional series, and I am assuming that if you see that anywhere, it's all tied to them. And so I didn't I had a feeling that it was a fake book, and I was just like, well, there's an author's name. That she's got to be somebody, maybe part of the show. But okay, no, it's the person that made the sleeve, and so so that's what that was. Um, and did you have any thoughts on Loud reading the book? Because he's like really into it too.
yeah, yeah, he seems engrossed. In the title, it was "Stay Out of the Deep End,"
Hmm.
and I like his as he's like reading and narrating to himself. Daniel, you dead idiot! I told you to stay out of the deep end, which just feels like just reading through that whole book, just being like, "Oh, don't do it, man! Stay out of the
Right.
deep end."
It doesn't sound good, Daniel. Um, Quiet comes running to Loud with an employee contract agreement for the OC. And my question is, did she? I mean, it sounds like she did do this without consulting with him, but I also had wondered, do we know if she can read? In the previous episode, she wrote John a letter. And I mean, I don't want to say she misspelled John. She just used like a different version of John.
Mm,
But I do wonder at this time, is she able to read? Because like like that contract, it looks. I think they did put in the effort to make it look like a real contract. I couldn't find the prop. I couldn't get a good enough screenshot or anything like that. But there is a part where you see like, female something keeper, male server. So you can see some of those on the page. But I was kind of wondering like it sounds too good to be true. And so I don't know if she was just lied to or didn't read the fine print.
yeah, I mean, from the kind of what's revealed later, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just everything in the contract sounds good, would be agreeable, but they're going to
Not
not
honor it.
honor it. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, and
Sounds
it seems like yeah, she made the decision, on her own. He definitely seems like it's not. It seems like something that they probably discussed, but actually going through with it, she just took the opportunity and didn't talk to him.
would you have been upset if you were him? Because we do learn that they've been there since they were kids.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would, the knowing the state of the world, yeah, I would probably just want to try anything else. But I also know, that how comfortable you can get, doing something, and even if you want to leave, actually doing it, is that's a whole nother story. Like,
Yeah. Tobin must be a real asshole for them to want to leave.
yeah,
That's the deal breaker for them to stay because like they got 10 minutes until their shift is basically over, and like Lau's just reading. You pointed out that Tobin had, like basically maybe a Discman, a Walkman or something to listen to music to. It doesn't look that bad, and we're also gonna find out from Quiet here that like she's like doing the sexy time with this guy named Adrian. So
mm,
they seem to be okay, but the idea of owning your own, was it 2 acres, right? 2 acres of pristine
yeah,
beachfront. That's, that I think why discuss it? Like this sounds good. Let's just do it. So
yeah.
um Yeah, the female has been assigned to domestic work and the male food service. That's what it says.
Mhm.
Uh, let's see here. We find out about a guy named Adrian. I mentioned that. Loud mentions that he knows because they share a wall. I don't know if he mentions that the wall's thin, but so that's got to be pretty awkward. And I asked you about Tobin, and he's like, I guess he's kind of the appointed guy to make sure everyone's doing their job. But I do love the siblings ganging up on him. So here's some of the dialogue. Um, mind your fucking business, Tobin. And Quiet, holding the hatchet, says, "Don't make me shove this up your urethra, Tobin." So hopefully I'm not, I didn't mention it. Maybe I should mention that right here. If you guys didn't listen to our previous episode where we discussed that final trailer and some of the other details that came out of that. We mentioned that we were going to start with this episode, a game with kind of like the best ofs at the very end. So, so Tyler, hopefully I'm not taking any of your dialogue here. Um, no one even likes you. Why are you even talking? So those are kind of going on simultaneously. I really love that.
Yeah, they're both just kind of like rapid fire over each other, just yelling, yelling
Yeah,
insults at him.
and they're on the same page. They're everything that they're saying is very close to what the other is saying. She tries to convince Loud to leave for a better life and questions if he'd rather spend his days becoming shriveled up and useless like Tobin. And then this is where he's like, I hear that, and she's like, we wanted you to hear it. She wanted you to hear it. So I love that. It was probably the cherry on top there. Um, this is when Quiet wakes up and sees that John has brought them to an abandoned Astro Burger. This is present time in Omaha. She questions their safety when they see a body wrapped in aluminum foil with fries for eyes and a mouth, and we find out his name is Zachary. What do you think of Zachary?
Oh, I don't want to spoil,
Okay,
future picks, but
got it.
possibly favorite character.
Okay. Um, did, so was he sacrificed? So like I didn't write down the note that was on here, but we know that he's got a knife in the gut, I feel, right?
I do have the note
Okay.
here. The astronauts of store LIS-004 have left this ruined world to ascend to our new home on the two-ringed planet. I, Zachary, await an escape pod for my mortal flesh. Please do not move me. And then John's like, see, they ascended. We're good. Uh,
See, so I do wonder, did he write that or did somebody else write that? And you
well,
know,
yeah. So I took it as he's kind of he's the one
sacrifice.
that's left to, like, after everyone else has made sure that everyone else has ascended. Now it's on him to, like he says, yeah, wait for his pod or whatever. And so yeah, I unfortunately, yeah, I picture him writing the note and then stabbing himself to death.
And
Brutal
then
way to
somehow
go
his
out.
hands are inside the rabbit. Well, we're not going to
Yeah, we don't
discuss
need
the
to think about it.
logistics. Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
fine.
maybe it's similar to John trying to heal his back wound. He just flopped onto it.
You've done this before, haven't you? All right. Is that what she says or something? Um, they get into another tiff, and Quiet isn't very happy John rescued her, but also he isn't even 100% sure if Stone is dead. This is kind of not dissimilar to the other thing that they had. I don't remember if it was the last episode, but they write it in a way where I don't know. What did you think about this exchange about John thinks that he made the right decision because they're both alive and they're safe now, but I think with Quiet she just has vengeance in her eyes.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like she, in the moment, she's just upset that, like, Stone isn't dead. She's not, able to keep, like, pursuing him immediately, but then quickly, kind of comes to the realization that, like John says, I found you, your car flipped over and you were covered in blood, and you still are covered in blood. And
Right,
like,
still bleeding.
yeah, what, uh, had he not came by, what, she was going to just lay there and she'd just be dead,
Yeah, he
uh,
says as much that Stone would have smoked you, I
yeah.
think.
So
Yeah,
if her goal was to kill him, like this was the best, scenario to get another shot at that later.
yeah,
And
to live another day and have another chance at it.
yeah, and becomes quickly agreeable to what what John did.
Yes, and after some vulgar exchanges, they suck face and do the sexy time in the ball pit, is what I put down. Now, in that situation, would you would you utilize the ball pit?
Ooh, I mean, maybe to say that you did, but it just doesn't seem like it. It's like a worse waterbed. You think that you're gonna have some support, and it's just gonna, you know, fall right out from under you.
It just there could be dead rats in there. There could be
Oh yeah.
limbs. You might find a body. I mean, they're lucky all they found was a band-aid. We talked about that earlier. Now how old do you think that condom is?
Oh, I mean, it's still wrapped, so it's pretty old.
Yeah, and it didn't appear to be dry, so it might be all right. So still a little bit of lube, I guess.
I
Hey,
mean,
at least
it's
he's practicing safe sex still.
yes. I mean, it's definitely expired. There's no way it's not expired, but kept
Now,
in a non-warm environment, maybe it held up.
do you think this is John being safe so he can live to be as old as he can be to expire as an old man? Or do you think this is like, however old he was when he was all alone and, grows up and is like, well, I understand that like when you have sex, you're supposed to have a condom. Like, do you think it's a little bit of both or
I think it's probably not a common occurrence, and so he's just been holding on to onto this thing.
yeah,
And yeah, I think he thinks this is what you're supposed to do. So like this is what I will do. It does stand out this
right.
this far in the apocalypse that you'd be worried about it.
Yeah. Let's see. We cut to the OC Beachlands and we find ourselves at another Astro Burger, this one in Laguna Beach, and we see Quiet and she's with her keeper. I called her Karen. I don't I actually
Yeah,
didn't pick up her name.
no, I didn't catch a name coming up. I wrote a waspy woman.
Waspy woman. Okay. So we could go Waspy Karen for now. And Quiet, she's not in good shape. I really do like the makeup because they make her cheeks look sunken in, as if like she's not getting enough food to eat. Even her eyes, she's not getting enough sleep. Just yeah, disheveled. It's and Stephanie plays her really well too. Like I really buy like the fatigue in her face,
Mhm. And
just really worn
she's
out.
very very dejected, just kind of like
Yeah,
disassociating.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's really good acting there. Your thoughts on the patrons of this Astro Burger?
uh, not a fan of most of
No.
these people. Yeah, the waspy Karen just immediately recognizes her friend Giselle, and they just start sharing and admiring each other's new jewelry, which all
Uh-huh.
comes with human toes and fingers and stuff attached to it.
Now, do you think why do you think they use appendages? Is it do you think it's like a trophy or is it more like this like how John was talking about like CDs, like they're worth their weight in gold or whatever the line was. Is this like a new type of like, you're a keeper and you have your servant for lack of a better word and if you cut anything off? Like, is that like some sort of is that is that
Yeah, I think
valuable?
yeah, I think it's a very old school form of punishment. Like
Hmm.
you take something, but then it's also, yeah, you're collecting it, and you're able to show it off as, the people that you're taking it from are constantly reminded not only the fact that they are losing something that's now missing from them, but they get to then see it, around your neck or dangling from your ear. It's
Right. That is a little reminder, don't do this again or you'll lose another one. How
yeah,
do you think they decide like what is taken off? I'm gonna not necessarily jump around, but I'm gonna like pull stuff from my head. We're gonna see like a young lady with like no nostrils.
yeah, definitely seems to be like personal preference. Like it
Okay.
looks like because it we didn't see a lot of like one person missing multiple things. There was one guy that had like I think a hand and an ear or something, or
Yeah.
like a finger
A
and an ear.
finger. Yeah, finger in the ear.
Yeah. But yeah, for the most part, it just kind of seems like they're the keepers, as we learned that they're called. Uh,
Mm.
so it looks like it's personal preference. They get to kind of choose, and
That's true because like Kerwin, we're gonna see like all he has is ears, so
all
not
ears all the
just
time.
yeah, that's it. Um, let's see, loud. No, quiet is ordered to go get this lady some food, and momentarily she's reunited with Loud. And I wrote down Stephanie is saying so much with her face.
Hmm.
Loud sees she's missing a finger, and I like how like quiet she removes her hand from the counter, and because to me it was more kind of like you know did we ever discuss who we think might be excuse me might be older, like do we think Loud's older by a little bit, like right, he seems
Uh,
like big brother, right?
yeah, just from the kind of like he seems like he's looking after her, so it kind of just comes across as he's older, but it could go either way.
Yeah, because and tell me if you think any different, but the way she kind of like because he seems very concerned, right? Like he noticed like, Dan, you're missing a finger, and they're not even talking, right? Like they're not allowed to speak. Is what
Hmm.
we kind of pick up here, and she removes her hand, kind of like how you said she's like really she's kind of not present. She's dejected and all that. And I wonder if it's just like, look, let's not bring any attention to this, because we could get in trouble. I could lose another finger.
Yeah,
So yeah, a lot's kind
and,
of said
and
there
and I'm
without
sure
any
they're
dialogue.
both at this point still kind of just like counting down the time. They think that they're like just got to put in the time, got to hit four
That's it.
years, and then this
Just
will
just
this will
get
all be over.
just get through. That's it. This is no, lady sees, so Karen sees Quiet holding the tray and shouts at her. And as she's walking the tray over, we see some more people missing appendages. We already talked about some of those. Yeah, it was kind of weird to seeing like just one random toe missing from this like one girl's foot. And
Hmm.
so I was just kind of like, wow, how did you decide that one, not like start with the pinky toe or the big toe? I don't know. Maybe it was the middle toe. I kind of forget now. But
Yeah, the asymmetry is just killing me. It's like you gotta
a little
come on,
bit.
make a match.
This is when we also meet Kerwin, who alerts everyone about an active shooter. And your thoughts on Kerwin?
Great, uh, real. Uh, just the moment he comes out, and he's you see the ear necklace, and he's announcing the another active shooter. I know it's happening again. These people that were mutilating or fighting back, and then the immediate switch to just like manager mode, and everyone, what do they call it, like starry
Star, uh, it
starry galaxy
is
fries or something like that. But yeah, like free, to keep everyone
shooting star
happy.
fries.
Yeah.
Shooting star
uh
fries. There we go.
keep everyone happy and complacent, while it's locked down, and so everyone gets free fries, and our
Right.
Karen is very excited about that.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yeah, she's on
Now
Atkins, so she can't have the
yes,
bun, but as many potatoes as you want.
I know. I because I this was the first time I caught the no bun, and then she looks at Giselle, like Atkins, and so this is the first time I caught it taking the notes, and then when the fries came, I go, wait, that's not how that works. But yeah, for those that are, maybe just recently found, finding us, we did interview Billy Slaughter, great interview, and I really paid attention to him this time around, and I really do like the character of Kerwin. There was this line he says, "As a precaution, we will be locking down." And I wrote that his face reads, "I know it sounds silly, but it's policy." That's kind of like the vibe that we're getting, like you said, like all these people are fighting back, another shooter, that kind of deal. Yep, until they get the all clear. So I do wonder who do they have to answer to, and maybe it's not necessarily even an answer to. It's just making sure that everyone will be safe. Let's just kind of just be cautious, kind of deal. But yeah, shooting star fries on the house, and I guess that's enough for some people. I mean, they are inside and all that, but
Yeah. I mean, it is it's an odd holdover from current life to future life that active shooter drills are just kind of a mundane part of life.
it really is. Quiet watches loud. Go lock the doors and turn off the lights. Did you catch the little teardrop there?
Yes, yeah, they like as he's turning off the lights, they're both just kind of like locking eyes and yeah, sheds a tear.
What do you think is in their headspace right now?
I mean, I think kind of just going back to like they want to be able to just talk to each other, and like this, uh, they don't know if this is a situation where they're going to be able to, they're going to have that moment or just split again and not see each other for who knows how long. So it's like
Right.
this one moment being able to just like see each other and share kind of the same thing is probably the best and worst thing that could happen to him.
Yeah, and I think some people may even forget how lonely that can be. We're gonna find out a little bit later that it's been 3 years since they've seen each other. Um, and so yeah, man, I can't even imagine. Um, let's see, we cut back to quiet in present time, waking up in the ball pit, John snoring. And I thought it was funny how she was able to sneak out without waking him up, but it's the sound of the bell on the door that awakens him. So,
Yes,
uh,
trying to sneak through a ball pit is yeah very funny.
I would have loved if she was actually like crawling over him. Like there was really no way around it. He was just blocking the exit of the ball pit, and there's an accidental like kick to the face, and like he's still asleep. But it's that door, like once it
Yeah.
hits that bell, it's just like what happened? Um, let's see. She attempts to leave, and John follows her out, but they see what we find out is a Watkins storm heading their way and head back inside. And again, Radek already explained what that is. That yeah, it was a level. Um, let's see. Funny sequence of John running back out to Park Evelyn under covers. Did you have any thoughts on any of those there?
And we get to see what is it? As he's running out there, we see Zachary
Get struck.
laying out in the yeah right out front of the door, and yeah, as he's running back, Zachary gets struck by lightning and just immediately ignites into
Right.
flames, and then yeah, John gets hit in the back and scampers away.
Yeah, I jumping ahead a little bit, but he Zachary did not look. I mean, because he caught on fire, he did look like he was. I mean, he didn't look like he got burnt that badly. The next time we see him, so and that was me.
Uh, yeah, he gets struck multiple times throughout this episode and then reignites again. It's just like a reoccurrence. It's just, oh, he's hit again. Ah, he's on fire again.
Oh Lord, yeah, I might have missed some of the extra ones there. Um, we come back from a break and we're back in the Laguna Beach. Astro Burger loud signals quiet to try to get away, and she meets up with him in the back of the kitchen. And this is where we find out it's been 3 years. What did you think about this moment with the two of them and Loud trying to get quiet to talk?
I mean, it's heartbreaking and frustrating. It's like she is clearly so uh, what's the word? Like she's just been living with it for so long that like the idea of breaking it after all these years probably just is so hard to to accept and come out and speak which
Yeah.
clearly plays into her character after Loud dies. Later on, kind of reverting back to this because he mentions, it's the line like, "I want to hear that annoying ass voice of yours." So clearly, like she, when not restricted, is like almost probably as loud and abrasive as him, and so this is just like we're back together.
Yeah.
Why aren't you being you?
And also, who doesn't love a good fart joke? So we
Yes.
so is it Kerwin that we're thinking? Is he farting on Kerwin's burger? Is that he
Yeah,
didn't?
I assume
Yeah, he
so.
doesn't.
Yeah, not a
Um,
one cheek squeak, but with a full on ass blast or whatever.
that was a good one. And then this is when Kerwin walks in on them, and it does get pretty tense. Yeah, I think Kerwin, well, he says that, they're not supposed to be back there. Then Loud shows him that he's carrying like the box of like Astro Buns, and then he catches that quiet doesn't work for him. It says, "Oh, your keeper's not gonna like this," and he's like he grabs her as if he's gonna take her to the keeper, and then this is when Loud yells at him and says, "Don't touch her." And I love how Billy like he just kind of the fuck did you just say? Like he just stares at Richard Cabral and yeah, and then just slaps him. I thought that was really well done. And he goes, "Know your place. How dare you?" And before he says you, and then he gets a spit to the face. And then
Hmm.
Billy also shared this very moment here. Um Kerwin pulls out a knife on Loud and they hear a gunshot. And what I did like here is where the gunshot happens, and if I'm not mistaken, Kerwin looks away briefly, and then when he looks back to Loud, he does this thing where he leans in a little bit more, and I
Hmm.
found that to be like kind of menacing,
Oh
actually.
yeah.
And yeah, because when we saw Kerwin earlier, it's just like, oh, this guy, oh, free fries and blah blah blah. Now it's just like we forget how often he has probably punished, right? To take a word that you were saying, punish somebody, especially with his necklace. But I just kind of love that, that I'm just watching Billy's movements, and so he looks away and just leans in forward once he turns back to Loud. So, um, there's a lady outside the restaurant. She's yelling how the contract is all lies. And Kerwin assures the patrons that things are all right and that the Reapers should be there any moment. Now, the caption said Reaper singular, but you're saying that that's what they're being
Uh,
called?
I mean, yeah, he says, yeah, the Reaper will, be here and take care of it or whatever. So yeah, I just assume, it's similar to like, oh, the police will arrive
Right.
or like
Okay.
something like
Okay.
that. Because yeah, we
Yeah,
later
maybe.
we'll see multiples of them, and they don't
Right.
differentiate. It's not like the one that we see initially isn't doesn't look like a notable Reaper, or anything doesn't stand out when we see the other ones, as
Yeah.
well.
Uh, Let's see. So the shooter. She said she's basically fulfilled her 4 years and didn't get anything. And
Hmm.
then this is when Loud and Quiet look at each other like, right, this kind of changes everything. Um, we cut back to present time and Quiet sees John struggling to give himself first aid. And why do you think he refuses her offer to help him?
I mean, just the like her trying to leave, abandoning, him, after the ball pit session, probably just still, still raw.
A little bitter from
Uh,
that.
yeah.
I don't
But
think it
yeah, I
was
love.
raw. He had a condom.
That's true.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I love his self medic plan here. He just puts down a bunch of napkins on a table and pours distilled white vinegar over it, and then just kind of hops onto it on his back.
Is that what that is? I thought it was alcohol. Rubbing
Oh,
alcohol or
it
something.
it may have been. The jug just looked like a white vinegar jug from like a restaurant or something.
Because I'm forgetting, does he react as if it stings badly? Right?
It
Does
definitely looks like
would
it stings.
vinegar
Yeah.
would vinegar sting? Do you know a wound?
I've never gotten in a cut, but I would assume so. Yeah, I would think so.
Hmm. I guess never
I
considered
have
it, but
some. I can
yeah.
try.
Do you have a cut? Are you gonna pour it over?
I mean, I
Um,
can.
no, 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 don't do that. He explains Watkins Harbor and the storm, but we already know what that is. And he says that they gotta wait a while. And she asks, "How long is a while?" And he gives her I put the look, or rather the eyes. And so I kind of misremembered. I thought it was going to lead into like round two, but no, it didn't. What did you think that look
Not yet.
was? Or do you think it was more just the look that he gives her is like, well, you're just stuck with me until it's done. That's pretty much
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I think that you wanted to leave, and now you can't for a while. You're gonna
Right.
be
You
stuck
might end
here.
up like our boy
Uh,
Zachary outside.
and who then gets struck again and reignites.
Yeah. Let's see, some time has passed, and Quiet is sitting at a table by her lonesome, watching John throw little saucers into a six-legged alien with five eyeballs. And they make a game out of it by asking each other questions if you make it. Now, did you
Mhm.
think he really kind of played her in the very beginning there? Like, do you think he was purposely
Yeah.
missing or
Uh, I no. I think he was just missing, but yeah. Then maybe he just locked in when it was an actual game. Yeah, he starts making it a lot more.
I
But
mean, especially and if he's gone through quite a bit, it's just like basketball or anything where you're throwing or shooting or whatever. You do it the repetition enough, you start to be able to kind of just tweak the throw just a little bit. You'll be able to get it right. You may not get
mhm.
100%, but your averages or your percentages going to go up. And so, yeah, it might be he was just getting lazy with it, and then when it came down, like you said, he probably just locked in and just like, okay, yeah, it's not that hard. That and also that does look like the like that's a game that is available to play at an Astro Burger. Who's cleaning all that up? Like, are you making like the customers like clean up after themselves, or like an employee comes and picks up all the damn
Oh no.
saucers, restacks them?
Yep. No. That's it. The
That's it, the
employee.
key. Yeah, the slaves or
You gotta
whatever.
get off the fry station. You gotta go clean up saucers.
Yeah. Now we learned in episode four, right? Well, whichever episode where he kind of wanted to. There was another time where it came up, and I think we even talked about it on the last episode. But he kind of wanted to know her name, and she doesn't answer. Was that leading into the knock knock? I think that's what it was, maybe, or am I misremembering?
Oh, I don't remember.
Okay, but anyway, so he gets to ask a question, and he immediately goes to, "What's the coolest place you ever been?" And she's like, "You're not gonna ask me my first name?" He's like, "Oh shit." Um, what would your first question had been if you were John?
Ooh.
What would you want to know
Uh.
about Quiet?
Well, I mean, with the forethought, it would be like, "What's your name?" But aside from that, I mean, yeah, probably just like what were you doing, before like we ran into each other, just trying to get more context.
Yeah. And this wasn't a bad one. She does answer with Disneyland,
Mhm.
and and this goes back even further too, like before the fall, and she talks about how yeah, other kids win and stuff like that. I do like their exchange about this whole um Disneyland thing. And I was just thinking about it. It's like how difficult is that to write? Because you really have to put yourself in like the shoes of somebody who has never heard of Disneyland. And so yeah, the idea of you like hugging a big ass mouse like that does sound disgusting.
Yeah, and why does he get a name? Why is he so special?
Right. Right. Yeah, I do love that line. That's a good one. What did you think of John's answer of the I forget the question, but the answer was the Container Store. What does she
Oh
say?
yeah,
Like what does
that was the same question back. Was what the coolest place he's been, and he said the Container Store.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, I think he explains, there's just so many, uh, like different things that can hold, things. And he says, when he gets to New San Francisco, his place everything will have a place. And that so yeah, he finds this container store and the possibilities of like, oh, if I just had a place of my own that things like this could go, then I could, everything could just go in its own little place. There would be no chaos, no,
Yeah,
everything would have an
little
order,
little symbolism there,
stability.
for yeah, for John himself. Yeah, I didn't pick up on that at first. It's a little self-referential where yeah, he wants to belong a little eh, you know, things would be in order and organized, and it would have its own place like himself. Um, and then we get a bit of a jump cut. They're talking about like the ocean. I guess John's never been,
And he
but
never will.
it's not because he didn't really have like an opportunity. He's just scared of the ghosts in the ocean.
Yes, the ghosts in the ocean, who pilot the ghost ships. It's
Right.
very dark, and that's a breeding ground for spirits. It
Hmm.
all makes sense.
It really does, and this is actually in line because like she asks him or says like, oh, I suppose you believe in aliens too or something, and so they get that talk as well. I think if he believes there's ghosts in the ocean, I also believe that he believes in aliens. I mean, I also believe in aliens, so um both of us just watched a movie about one, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, are a llama and a goat the same animal?
No. I mean, I personally have not seen a llama and a goat in the same room together. I've never seen either of them in a room
That's fair.
whatsoever. uh, but I've seen them separately, pretty close to each other.
What was the animal in Clerks 2? Is that a donkey?
um, uh, I d- I think donkey's probably pretty close. Maybe a pony or
Or
something
am
like
I
that.
mixing that up with Zack and Miri Make a Porno?
There's
Is there an
definitely an
animal in that one?
animal. There's definitely an animal in Twerks too, but it's been
Okay,
a long time.
right, same. A lot of those just kind of blended in together now. So they go back and forth with some other things they've never experienced. Quiet has never broken an arm. John has never ridden a bicycle. Now that was a line I never caught before, and now that sets up something that we'll see later on in the season. She's never seen snow, and that's interesting. And I guess that makes sense too if she spent most of her time in the OC,
Yeah,
you know. Yeah, so yeah.
yeah. She's there
And
since she was a kid.
right. And John has never seen a baby pigeon. That's kind of specific.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I haven't either. I've seen a lot of pigeons.
That's
None I
true.
could identify as a baby.
I guess I've never
Maybe
seen a
that's
baby crow.
maybe maybe that's just that's John's being naive, kind of just like, well,
There you go.
I've never seen a baby pigeon. I've seen lots of pigeons. You'd
Right.
think that I would see a baby
Kind of
one
sort of super
sometime.
naive. There you go.
Yeah. So like, well, they probably stay in their nests, John. Do you
Yeah.
look in their nests often?
And so now they are really bonding that they do round two in the ball pit because they said that they've never had sex in the ball pit a second time. So, and we see that they do put the Granny Sutra to use. And
Yes.
the one thing I forgot, as I have done with previous episodes, the name game at the top, drive through. Um, I are they are they doing the drive through in their second round here in the ball pit? I mean, they have the book to
Oh,
reference it.
I mean, yeah. And they're flipping through pages, like mid act. Uh,
Yeah, and I'm sure Astro Burger has a drive through, so that also falls in there. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. No, that's pretty much it. Now, we get a little call back to Adrian. There's a little post-coital uh talk here,
mhm.
and he was the last person she had sex with, and he invites her along basically for the ride and says that they made it this long because they've been together, and that's true, right? They've kind of gotten each other's back, whether wants to admit it or not,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
she does shoot it down pretty quickly, and they get it into a heated exchange and say some pretty unpleasant things to each other. Um, I don't know if I want to ask like if any of that was below the belt, but I think she really got him with the whole. I kind of forget the wording, but she points out that like he does he
He's
doesn't
never
have
had
anybody or
anyone.
right?
Yeah. He's pretty much saying like you need to, you can't shoulder your brother's death, forever. Like you have to kind of let go of that. And she's retorts with, "Well, you've never had anyone, so how would you know?"
Yeah, that sucks because he lost his entire family as a kid. So yeah, it was definitely a moment where I'm just like, yeah, you want to do the Homer Simpson backing into the bush a little bit, if you were present with you too. Um, anything to add there before I cut back to the Laguna Beach
We're just
with the
right
discussion?
before this scene, we did get to see Zachary continuing to burn outside.
Okay,
So
so
yeah,
where was
still on
that?
fire.
That just out the window?
It just cuts like to outside, like right
Oh,
after they have sex in the ball pit again, but before it's just
oh,
here's a shot of Zachary just to check in on our new character, what
got
what
it.
he's doing.
It's like kind of one of those established shots, like like we're still here, just a little bit later, kind of
Yeah.
thing. Still
Uh,
burning.
but
One,
but yeah, and yeah, Quiet. They end this scene. Quiet saying, she's gonna be gone after the storm.
right. But back to Zachary, and we'll move it along. But I do kind of wonder what kind of aluminum foil is that? It's
Oh yeah, I mean,
burning pretty good.
whatever they wrap their burgers in at Astral Burger, survive multiple lightning strikes.
Um, we now go back to Laguna Beach. Asperberger and Kerwin is bringing out loud through the back. And here is where the Reapers are.
Mhm.
And I did. What did you? Can you picture what they were wearing? Did you have any thoughts about their wardrobe?
Yeah, they. So I can't pinpoint like exactly what they're like. They're
They,
referencing, but
yeah.
like in my head, it's like a Wild West or kind of like cowboy.
Okay.
Like I picture like the marshal
Hmm.
or like the federal like marshal or something coming through someone who's like a little bit more dressed up, a little bit more sophisticated. But so yeah, they got the suit, white gloves, white
Right.
face mask, and stuff. So like
See,
very, they definitely stand out.
the gloves made me think their look is like pallbearers. Like
Okay,
that's
yeah.
going to be the uniform. Yeah, because they're driving the hearse. That's Shadow, and so that's interesting how you the way you described them was almost kind of like like what you said, like kind of the cowboys. So basically, you look at them as some sort of law enforcement because like they came and they shot that lady right in the face. I think
Hmm.
I feel like I might have skipped some of my notes because I know that I wrote down, shot in the face and whatever, and I was going to ask you like what is their role? Are they um kind of like these people that would come and just pick up the workers and they take them to somewhere where they're jailed or something?
Yeah. Well, it seems like because the keepers kind of have free reign to discipline, as they see fit, by
Hmm.
cutting parts off or whatever, that if one of the workers gets unruly and escapes or something, like it's these guys' jobs. Like, okay, well, there is no. For me, it seems like there is no prison. Probably there is no like you getting sent somewhere else. It's just we're gonna kill you, pick you up in our hearse, and you're done. Get
Body. Yeah.
yeah. I do
Uh
want to
yeah.
say the Reapers are very similar to how a character from the video game Death Stranding,
Mm.
uh, Die Hard Man,
That's the
is
whole
dressed
title.
very similar. His
Okay.
name, the character's name is Die Hard Man. The game is Death
Oh, okay.
Stranding, but I got a lot of the same vibes from the dress of the two of them.
Interesting.
Just wanted
Okay,
to point
I'll have
that out.
to yeah, look at them look at them side by side. Kerwin tells them, but first for my collection, and he cuts off Loud's ear. Very gross. And I wrote that he has a real hard on for his new addition to the necklace. The way Billy plays it, he's just really excited.
Yeah.
And as it looks like he's about to put on the necklace, and then he tells the Reapers that, he's all theirs. But then he looks up and sees the two of them lying there in a pool of blood. And then we see Quiet step in behind him and slits his throat. Um, so that was interesting. I do wonder, was she had her hatchet, right? I wonder where she got it from. So I wonder if just maybe we're supposed to think that maybe there was just one at Astro Burger that now she's using.
So yeah,
Because it'd
that
be interesting.
or
Because if she had the whole
the
time, like, what was stopping her from killing her keeper?
well, and I wonder if maybe yeah, like her keeper has her possessions or something, and
Mm.
we don't see it, but perhaps her keeper and is dead as well, and she reclaimed her stuff.
See, and also the keepers. So it's not just like white people, right? Like, we saw like a black lady in there, and I don't know if there was any other brown people. But because at first I thought that it was like maybe just the brown folks are going to be the workers or whatever. But we did see even like some of the workers are white, you know. So it's kind of mixed. So I found that also kind of interesting. They are definitely like a type of class, and not more so on like the prejudice and like the skin color too. So I was kind of like reading them a little bit differently, like the first few times I would see this
Mhm.
episode.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
it definitely at first like comes across like when you're looking at the restaurant, like it seems like oh most of the people here are who are dressed in their own clothes and stuff seem to be white, but yeah, not
Mhm.
not not totally. But it's
Yeah.
nice to know that's a colorblind
Yeah.
slave town.
Yeah. Yeah. All colors matter or whatever their expression might be. As he's about to, no, I already said that. And this is when Quiet finally speaks. She tells him, "I'm not leaving without you, fuckhead." And they drive off in the car. We see them driving the pilot, which is Shadow. Now, she uses a lot of like swear words with her brother, and I feel like that's their kind of their dynamic. They talk
Mhm.
shit to each other. Now with John, it's not, so she only does it just because she doesn't like him, right? It's not like the same way she does it with her brother,
No,
where
yeah,
it's
when
more
she's
like
talking to
an
John,
affection.
it's more demeaning. Like
Yeah,
I'm putting you down.
yeah, because the way she says fuckhead to her brother, it wouldn't be the same, way she says it to John.
Mhm.
Yeah, I do like that. We cut back to Quiet in the ball pit. I love this shot too. And I didn't say this when I was kind of giving my thoughts on this episode overall. I guess I could say it like after we review it, but I did like because of it being a bit of a bottled episode. And Maggie Carey, the director, she's directed several TV shows and stuff. So a lot of credits under her name. This felt like almost like an indie movie, with some of the shots and especially with the song at the very end. I don't know the name of it. I'm sure we can find it, and I quite enjoy
I got
that
it.
one. Yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah, I just love the way it was shot this episode. So the ball pit, um, and it's the two of them because earlier we saw Quiet in there by herself, and now it's the two of them laying there, and I just love like all the colors. It's just it's a great visual. And oh no, this is Quiet by herself. My bad. They both take turns annoying each other by making noises, trying to get comfortable. So I don't think they were doing it on purpose, but it's like, well, what are you gonna do? You're just trying to get comfortable. He just, he's using aluminum foil, and she's in the balls.
They're both annoyed and restless, and yeah, one she flops around in the ball pit making noise trying to get comfortable. He tells her to be quiet, and then he does the same thing in his foil blanket. And then yeah, them
I
back and forth just telling each other go to sleep, no, you go to sleep.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any, where else could you sleep to get warm? I mean, obviously, like, body heat if you guys are holding each other, but they're fighting. But I'm thinking the ball pit, like, I don't know if you can, let's say you could get comfortable. I don't think you can be warm covered in hollow plastic
No,
balls.
I don't
you
feel like
know?
that's going to retain the same amount of heat as being wrapped in foil.
Right. Yeah. I wonder if they can get saran wrap and if that would make any difference. Probably not. Um, cut to nope. White gets hungry and goes to look for food and finds bodies in the freezer.
Mhm.
And that reminded me so much of the Goonies, where Chunk like smells ice cream.
Oh yeah,
They opens it up and there's a dead body in there.
yeah, and
Um,
there's all the there's a sign on the freezer that says the mothership, and like she passes a jar of cyanide
oh right,
like as she's walking past, and yeah, and they're all in the freezer standing up like wrapped in their own foil suits, frozen, dead there, and they have a note in one of the guy's hands as
oh
well. I
yeah,
don't think we don't get the note or
okay,
anything. It's just they're kind of
yeah.
yeah holding it there.
So do you think that they were going to ascend from the freezer? Like this is where we're gonna be, and then like when we die, like our soul is going to this two-ringed planet or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, very very Heaven's Gate. Maybe the freezer is that's their pod, like
Hmm.
that's their way of going up, and unfortunately not enough room for poor Zachary.
Yeah. Well, he might actually, get abducted by an actual alien. That's the hope.
And I
Um,
do like I do like that we see them there, in the freezer, and then it's just not like that. She doesn't even comment on it,
right.
to John or anything. She just starts trying to cook burgers. It's
It's,
just
it's
oh, that's just there.
yeah. I guess the freezer seems to be working still. I mean, we see that they have
Very
electricity.
surprising. Yeah,
Yeah, and so
I was
I'm
when she starts
go ahead.
cooking the burgers. I'm like, that's very questionable to trust that those burgers have not thawed and refrozen at some point.
Yeah,
Of all
I
this food.
that was definitely one I had to suspend disbelief. I'm like, okay, you know what? It has not reached its expiration date just yet, and maybe not a lot of freezer burns. So yeah, and maybe even so they can scrape it off. Who knows? But also, if you've seen that movie Alive, to keep referencing like movies from the 90s, those are frozen people in the freezer.
That's
And we
true.
heard Ethan Hawke say it tastes like chicken. So, um, cut to them eating and they're asking each other like, how is it and stuff. So I wonder, hopefully they got some condiments that are also not expired.
Uh, well, and so like she's trying to cook the burgers and she's getting mad
Oh,
because
right.
the grill
Yeah.
isn't turning on. And John mentions like, well, it's probably because it's out of gas, and so she
Right.
goes over to like grab a new gas tank, and is like struggling and hurting herself, trying to like drag it over. And John's
Right.
telling her, like to let go. You
Mhm.
can't do this by yourself. Let go. And she's saying she can't. And obviously, that's not. They're not talking about the gas
Right.
canister. They're
Right.
talking about letting go of Loud, and then she kind
Yep.
of cry or breaks down. Kind of cries in his arms, and yeah, then cut to
It
a meal.
great emotional sequence. I really
Mm-hmm.
did love it. It's so funny. I don't know how like sometimes I just skip around, but I literally wrote she struggles to light the stove. They have discussion about letting go, and she says she can't and sobs. It's almost kind of I think this is obviously more effective. It does remind me a little bit of like that containers, speech, container store of like, having everything that belongs kind of thing. Um, we cut to them eating, talked about that, and then laying in the ball pit. That's the visual that I like. The two of them just laying there
Mm-hmm.
looking at this poster. We're not alone. Is that what it says? We are not
Yeah.
alone. Um, do you wonder who put that there? Because one would think, if it's do people I don't Zachary, maybe Zachary. It's well, I don't think like it was like a part of like store policy, like, oh, this is a poster we're sending you guys, make sure you put it on the ceiling because like what you want people to like just lay in the ball pits and look at the poster? I know because you're decorating the ceiling at that point.
Yeah, and there's also glow stars all over the ceiling. So yeah, it's kind of like they're getting their moment outside, under the stars. But
Hmm.
uh, And then yeah, the
Is
song that starts playing
yeah.
is Portishead Road.
Hmm.
Not familiar.
Not familiar. And I do love the lyrics and how it's kind of. Do you have the lyrics down by chance? That's kind of being
I do
spoken.
not.
Okay. Or
Mm-mm.
yeah, I just liked whatever the lyrics were because it was kind of like one of those things like in the moment, and I think it's talking about how they're small or oh gosh, I forgot. It's just one of those that the lyrics just kind of perfectly line up with what's going on in the sequence and the kind of the subtext. We cut to John waking up the next morning, and you can see that the sky has cleared, and he thinks quiet dipped, but he goes outside and sees quiet loading up, and she's changed her mind, and they head to New Chicago.
Mm.
Anything
And
there
this is
before
our
I continue on?
yes, our last view of Zachary
Mm-hmm.
as he walks out. As Zachary is now a crispy critter. He is just a burnt skeleton, smoldering
Finally,
there. And yeah, he gives him a Jello Zachary, and then calls him a
yeah, yeah,
fucking dork before heading off.
yeah. And they're on the road. Quiet rolls down the window to get some fresh air. She does a thing where she sticks her hand out to feel the wind and tears up a bit. So I do like the contrast of like the first time we saw her tear up it was when her and she's watching Loud lock up the store, and I'm sure like you said how like they just want to talk, and so like now they're just now we're in a situation where we don't know what's about to happen, but now she is making the decision and finally letting go, coming to terms with the death of her brother. I think, yeah, this is her kind of like, um, maybe in her mind, like, okay, this is, a clean slate and really just embracing the like kind of like feeling a little bit free, you know?
Mm.
And then they drive by a sign, something about I don't know if it was a re-election sign, but obviously it's like spray painted Calypso is real.
So yeah, it's welcome to Chicago, Illinois, and then
That's
yeah,
right.
there's a spray painted Calypso is real, and Mayor Daniel Rory Murphy, and then the Windy
Uh-huh.
City. I looked up the Daniel Rory Murphy to see if that was I was looking for like the time frame if that was like a real mayor or something,
Okay.
but it seems like it's a reference to a Let's Play channel on YouTube uh, called
Huh.
RKG, and like those are the last names of the three members of the that
Oh.
channel. That's the first thing that came up. I can't verify that that's actually like what it is, but that doesn't seem to be a real person. So
Okay. To me, Murphy could be a last name. I mean, uh, let's see, what was Murphy. I mean, RoboCop is the first one that I thought of, but I was trying. What was his first name? It's just
uh,
irrelevant, but
oh, in RoboCop,
yeah.
John. I think it's just John Murphy.
No, that doesn't sound right. John Murphy. No. Um,
RoboCop.
yeah. I'm
Uh,
blanking on the first name, but that didn't sound right. But
Alex
but Mur
Murphy.
Mur Alex
Alex
Murphy. There
Murphy.
we go.
Yeah.
Okay. So Murphy. I think. I don't want to say traditionally, but when I think of Murphy, I do think of a last name. But when I was reading it, I was like, Daniel Rory Murphy. I go, well, Murphy could be a first name. And then I was just thinking like maybe it was like oh, when you hear somebody with three first names, maybe they're a serial killer or something. That's kind of what I was thinking, New
Mhm.
Chicago, like their mayor was like somebody really skeevy or something.
And
Yep, and that's
maybe
pretty much all I had.
maybe that will be Calypso's like real name, or something. Maybe he was the
Maybe.
former mayor of Chicago.
Right. I do like the idea of that. All right, so like I mentioned earlier, that we will start kind of playing these games at the end of every episode. This also gives a chance for Tyler to have a line rather than react to me, kind of giving him a bit of a stinger. And so we have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. We currently, no, I'm sorry. I'm just okay. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. I have seven. Does that sound right?
Seven.
Okay,
Yep, that's what I got.
so we have seven categories, and this is going to be the little game that we play at the end of every episode. We have best line, best character, best costume, best death, post-fall slang. Do you have any other way to kind of reword any of these, or anything clever?
Not that I've came up
Okay,
with.
maybe we'll come up with anything. Maybe we'll get
Workshop
some
it.
suggestions from listeners. But the post-fall slang. So after the fall, anything that they created in their world that we can kind of discuss. Best song, aka needle drops, and best use of a swear word. That was your addition, and I thought that was kind of an interesting one. Why
Yeah,
did you come? Because I feel like the other ones are pretty, uh
they're. I feel
like
like
a po
they get creative with the
okay.
swears, and if it's not a creative use, normally there's someone has like a real good like inflection,
Yeah.
on a particular swear.
Okay. I like it, and I have it as the last one, and all the other ones that I listed previously um are very obvious ones, and so all right, so yeah, I'll go with my best line because you actually just said it, and I went ahead and just let you because it's like we were about to lead into this, but Jello Zachary, fucking dork. I loved it because we've been talking about Zachary, and I guess you paid a little bit more attention to how often he was actually burning on fire and all that stuff. I'm thinking, damn, John, what the fuck did Zachary do to you? Like, fucking dork. I was like, what did he do to deserve that? He's just wrapped in aluminum foil, minding his own business. I don't think he deserved that. So, but I thought best line just because it kind of came out of nowhere, and Zachary is not there to defend himself.
Well, especially since John, yeah, was the one who was saying, we're not alone, and he believes there's something else out there in the universe. Well, so does Zachary, and look, he put
Yeah,
his money where his mouth is. Like
yeah,
he took that
really.
ride.
What was your best line?
Mine was at the beginning, Loud telling Quiet that she's great at slicing fruit and even better at making Tobin feel like shit.
Yeah, and I almost like I think my runner up would have been one of the exchanges towards Tobin. Like nobody even likes you. I think that was one of those that I may not have written down, or maybe I did and kind of forgot that I wrote it. But just all the things that they were throwing at Tobin, I just thought was so hilarious. Okay, next best character, I have Kerwin. We got a lot of him. I kind of talked about it earlier of how Billy plays him when we first meet him to how menacing he was with the knife with Loud. When yeah he grabs onto Quiet and Loud's just like don't touch her, and yeah, that whole exchange he really stood out for me.
Yeah, that same for me, same
Oh,
character.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's it. Pretty much yeah, beat for beat. Like he's just the going from like kind of doofy, manager to yeah, just being like stone cold frightening
Yeah.
at a moment's notice. Yeah. And the slap, like he just that turn, of just like trying to put someone in their place like is just yeah, totally sells the menace.
Yeah. I so you did fool me with the whole Zachary thing. I thought that was actually yours.
I was very tempted to just do Zachary all the way down.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kerwin is just yeah, uh he's great.
Yeah,
I mean he
he is
sucks.
great.
He sucks. I hate that guy, but
He
he is
yeah,
so good.
yeah. Well, he's Billy is so good
Yeah.
at making him such an asshole that like yeah, he's definitely the best character of the episode. But I mean, I think we talked about Zachary as much as we did Kerwin, so like he could have been definitely a runner up. Best costume, I have Giselle, that majestic bitch. Because
Mm.
it just looked 80s. I thought she kind of reminded me of almost kind of like a Jamie Presley slash I'm sorry, I'm blanking on Barbie. Who was
Oh,
Barbie?
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie. It's late. Yeah, but yeah, so she kind of looked like that elk, and just I thought the colors were popping. She got the yellow and the 80s vibe, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
all about that. So I have her for best costume. How about you?
I have the Reapers in general.
Okay.
Just yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I really like that design and something that like I would I would love to see like in season two. Like having
Oh, return.
a driver or encountering something similar to the Reapers that we saw.
Yeah, they have the matching suits, and I really do love the touches of their gloves and the bandanas and how they
Mhm.
do wear it, kind of like desperados or something like that. So yeah, it is a neat look. I did consider them for sure. How about best death? I have Kerwin with the a good old slicing of the throat from ear to ear. Oh, hey, look at that. Not pun, but was not trying to connect the his necklace.
Uh, I have Zachary for best death. Yeah, I because
Okay.
I take it the immolation of his corpse is fine. That's the final sending up.
Right.
Maybe now his spirit can attach to that space pod and go
Yeah.
to the birder place in the sky.
It'd be funny if he ends up there and the others like they're like literally stuck in the freezer and yeah, did make it to that planet. The next one we got post fall slang. I have keeper. That's basically like a slave owner or whatever. So um did you have anything different?
I have the walk-in storm. Yeah,
Okay.
I like
Yeah.
the like the explaining of like the nuclear power plant like exploding and ruining the atmosphere and stuff was very cool.
Right. I do like that. Yeah, I didn't even consider that, but yeah, you're right. And then the tie into one of the levels from the previous game, but yeah, the whole pointing of the atmosphere, and they did say like you gotta avoid the west, right? Like, is it more on the west side or something?
It gets worse the farther east you go.
For the farther east, okay, and they are heading to the Midwest, but hmm, okay. The next one we have is best song needle drop, and Tipsy by Jaquan. That
Same.
song, yeah, I don't have like any specific memories of it, but that song Tipsy, it does take me back to my clubbing days. Around that time, Chingy was also very popular right there. I think was also hot at the same time as Tipsy, if I'm not mistaken.
Uh,
So yeah, the St. Louis stuff.
so I don't have any specific memories of this actual song. This episode like maybe actually be the only time I've heard the actual like song. But when I was in high school, there was a internet remix kind of like CD going around called, and I'm sure it's probably problematic now. I wouldn't go look it up. But it was called a Filthy Slut Bus. And it had a
Huh,
track that was a cover of this, but all the words were changed to be about gaming online and stuff. Very nerdy and
interesting.
uncool. But that is stuck in my head. Like I have not stopped singing that song in my head, since 2006.
Wow.
Um, and just recently, I heard some country song covers it, but like switches up the lyrics to be about being at a country bar and stuff. And it's just like the long life on that song is amazing. So to come full circle to the actual thing now, hearing it in
Yeah.
2025.
It sounds like it's an earworm, so I think I would stay clear of it. But also just the Googling of such words. I don't want to see what the results might show up. The last one, best use of a swear word. And mine is during the exchange where they're doing the saucers and they're asking the questions and Disneyland comes up and Quiet says, "It was the happiest place on earth, motherfucker." I'm sure I got the inflections all wrong, but that was the line. It was the happiest place
uh,
on earth, motherfucker. So yeah. And there's
uh,
so many options too.
Oh yeah. And I mean just the all the fuck heads being thrown around and just the loving fuck yous back and forth between quiet and loud.
It's fucking
Mine
stupid.
was after the walk-in storm first starts and John gets hit and he abandons going through the front door and so he crawls in through through the drive-through window and
Right.
falls
Drive through.
and
There you
says
go.
fuck me, I fell in my burn.
That's a good one. Yeah, I did not clock that as the drive through, but you're right. Now that I'm picturing it, yeah, because if you asked me how did he climb back in, I would have been like, oh, he just went through a window, but I wouldn't have said drive through. But there you go. There's your titular, name of the episode there. Yep, so that's it for this episode. That's all of the games. I think we'll stick with that for now, and we'll be open to suggestions, but I don't want it to be too long.
Oh
At the
yeah,
end of this, just just want to make it fun. Maybe we even downsize that. I don't know. We'll it's a work in progress for sure.
yeah.
Um,
If anyone comes up with a fun category or whatever,
yeah.
like shoot it over. Like yeah, swap it out.
Yeah,
Do new
and
stuff.
even if you have like clever names, I was considering like, for the best line, like calling it like, which quote made it to the finish line, I don't know, like, but I was just like, oh, that's so stupid. That's why I'm not a writer, I'm not creative enough. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions on that, like I was thinking, like how could we incorporate like the one wish thing to something but then that would be something like, if they're in a character that we can bring back. And I don't know. I think I would prefer like the best death over like which character would you bring back? I don't know. So again, some tweaking
It
that
would
can
be
be made for
Zachary every
sure.
time, just
Every
bring him back.
episode, like Tyler, let it go. Um,
Zachary's not coming back.
yeah, he has gone to the mothership or whatever. So. All right. Thanks, Tyler, for obviously for staying up to get done with this episode. We have now four more to go, right? Seven, eight, nine, 10. I can count. So
Yep.
four more episodes to go before we start our season two, and hopefully it falls just in line. Um, and that's the idea. So we'll see how that goes. And until the next episode, keep it twisted.
Jello.